M. Night Shyamalan has returned with his newest film, Old. I will say that I am not the M. Night Shyamalan hater that some people are, for sure. I also want to say that it's pretty cool living 45 seconds from work on foot, because I currently have a client processing right now at the salon, and I'm here doing a review at home. It's very weird, but yeah, I mean, I have 30 minutes and I can get home in 45 seconds on foot. It's amazing. I recommend it to everybody if you can do that. Anyway, so I am not the M. Night Shyamalan hater that a lot of people can be, for sure. I know after The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and then Signs, that was like his 3 films that everyone was in love with. And then as soon as The Village hit, it seems like every film that he's made since The Village has just gotten him more and more shit. Now, I personally I've liked everything I've ever seen from him because the guy goes for broke. You know, he tries new things, he takes risks, and maybe they don't all pan out, but I like the swings. But the last film he made, the last movie he made was Glass, which I did like, as that trilogy of films. But the film before that, I think, was The Visit, unless I'm forgetting a film he made, which I absolutely loved. And so I was looking forward to this. I avoided the trailers for the most part. I kind of had a good idea of what it was. A beach where people age about a year every 30 minutes is what it breaks down to in the film. So this family who is having some issues goes on this vacation getaway to make some new good memories. And while they're there, they are told about this island, or this, I shouldn't say an island, it's not an island, about this beach, this secluded beach. And they go there with a few other people who they don't think are coming with them, but do. And while they're there, they realize that things are starting to change much faster than they should. And when they try to leave the beach, they can't. Now, this is a very good old classic Twilight Zone episode made into a feature-length film. Overall, I did like this film a good amount. My issue with the film came from the acting and the dialogue, but not for the entire film. There's just delivery of things, and some of this might be because some of the characters had accents, and then some of them I don't think this is why it was. I think it was poor performance. There was this rapper guy, goes by Midsize Sedan in the film, and his reaction to everything is like, damn. And I'm like, okay, shit's getting crazy. You could have more of a reaction than that. So that was a little annoying. And then there's just like expositional dialogue when the characters are trying to figure things out. And a little of it is just like, I get it. Us as the audience want things to make sense to a degree, right? And we're going to be left enough breadcrumbs. But there's just certain things that just don't need to be said, that it's like, it's good for the audience to after question things like, well, why isn't their hair growing? Or their nails growing? You know, stuff like that. That stuff doesn't matter. It's fine that they put it in here. It just feels like they're trying to over-explain themselves in films like this. And I know that works for some people, for sure. I have a friend who wants absolutely every single minute detail explained to them. And if there's anything left open for question, they're actually angry about it. They're like, well, what does this mean? Well, I don't have a definitive answer. They didn't tell me in film. So I'm not going to just fill it in for myself. I want to know. I'm not that way at all. I definitely want that balance, right? Everything's about balance. And with this film, I feel like they try to over-explain themselves a little too much, and because of it, the characters come off as forced and a little silly. And the performances from everyone kind of vary. They're rocky. They're not that great at times, and other times I think they're good. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on here. Of course, people and there's people of different age ranges, right? There's children who are going to age noticeably fast, And then there's, older people who aren't going to look all that much different in 5 to 10 years. I mean, I don't really look all that different in the last 5 years. And look back at my fucking first video. That was 4 years ago. And look at this video. I don't look all that different. But my kids look a hell of a lot different. So it definitely makes sense to have children there and older people. So I like the variety of age ranges. And I like how time affects people. And I like the explanation of they really do kind of try everything to get off of that beach. And they just have no escape. And that shit's scary. And I like that. I'm all about bizarre mysteries where, supernatural, potentially supernatural, whatever is occurring, and it's unfair. I like that kind of stuff because to me that's what's scary. I don't find reality all that scary, like in film, like Saw or Halloween or whatever, where it could potentially happen. I don't know, that for me, because it's a man, because, it's a mechanical trap, I have the ability to beat that thing with logic. When it's illogical, when up is not up anymore and down isn't down anymore, black isn't black and white isn't white, that's the kind of shit that throws my brain for a loop, because you're not playing on an even playing field anymore. You're not starting at the same starting line. It's all about like trying to logically make your way out of the illogical. To me, that's terrifying, because there's no like safety blanket of like knowing the rules. This film definitely has rules that have changed from what we know. We don't age a year and 30 minutes. We don't get stuck in an area because of basically a barrier of some sort. I'm not going to get too into it. I don't want to get into spoilers here. But that kind of stuff I really like. So the premise of this film, a lot of the things explored in this film, and especially the reason for why all of this is happening, because it's M. Night Shyamalan, he's going to have some kind of explanation for things at the end, I thought was great. Made perfect sense to a degree. When I say to a degree, I'm not knocking the logic of what is set up here. I can't say much more, but I can say that would be a longer conversation of like trying to remain, well, whatever. I did really enjoy the majority of this. It's just the acting and the dialogue that was taking me in and out. I also will say there was a couple behind us when we were watching the movie that was laughing at all sorts of things that weren't funny. And I think they just thought the movie was stupid, and I think that's going to be a very common complaint. I feel like half the people who go see this are going to think it's very dumb, that it's very forced, that it's too over the top, this and that. And that's fine. I mean, that is what it is. But I like these kinds of films. I love Twilight Zone type shit, and this is very Twilight Zone. I wish M. Night Shyamalan would have done the Twilight Zone show instead of Jordan Peele. I think it would have been much, much better, and at least been interesting and thought of new concepts. He's very good at that. Even the stuff that he, either produces or writes, like Devil or whatever. Like, I like that kind of stuff. I like kind of inventive, innovative ideas, and he takes something that's pretty original. I don't know any movie like this. And he's mostly successful. It's a cool movie. The Visit is my favorite of his, for sure. I just love that film. There's a lot of good stuff in this too that you're like, oh yeah, that would suck. That would happen if time in your body was sped up to, 30 minutes is a year. How fast things would happen. I'm trying not to say anything because I want you guys to experience it in the film, but there's definitely a lot of things that are happening to people's bodies, moments where characters interact with each other. That's like, oh shit, there's some really haunting stuff. One in particular with a woman who has issues with her bones and calcium. Let's just say that. there's a very, very disturbing sequence in the dark that's lit by matches. That's like, whoa, what the fuck? That one is haunting. Like, that will stay in my memory forever. And there's some good familiar faces in here, and I I don't feel like almost anybody in this film was great throughout. Maybe the daughter, once she ages and she ages up to like a teenager, like like a 20-year-old or whatever, she was pretty good, I feel like, throughout. But everyone else was a little silly at a time, and then sometimes they were good. So that's really where it was for me. But overall, a cool concept, and I love that M. Night Shyamalan's still making movies. I do. I know he's got haters, but I love that he brings unique concepts to the table. I do think that he overindulges himself a decent amount with his writing and whatnot. And of course, he has to put himself in every movie, which is fine. But overall, I did like it. So I'll be curious on the general consensus. I know I always say this with these new movies, but especially with stuff like this, with M. Night Shyamalan's work, because I know how hated he is, and I know like a movie like The Happening or The Lady in the Water or whatever, those movies get so much hate, and they just, I get it, but I don't. Like, I like that he takes risks. So anyways, check it out. It's worth your time, I think, if you're into mysteries and you can accept what's happening. But great reveal of what's happening in this for me, and it definitely left me thinking about morality. So let me know. Adios.